Welcome to This Is It, a podcast between friends that know way too little about way too much. I'm Thomas,
I'm Justin.
and we're running a little bit behind. And I think we're both a little exhausted.
Long
Uh,
week.
yeah, I barely slept the past couple nights. So I have like horrendous back pain that actually kept me up. So.
Yeah, my back is so bad I had to go buy a new mattress yesterday.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Yeah, I know. I got to lay around the store.
The mattress I just bought on the internet, and I was like, hope this works.
Which one did you get?
Nectar.
Oh yeah, okay. I saw Nectar at Macy's.
Okay, yeah, I know now most of those brands they still sell at store, but primarily their business is like direct to consumer. But hope you feel better.
Yeah, me too. Ditto, you too.
Yeah, thank you. I'm rubbing CBD ointment.
Oh, you're a convert to the marijuana plant now.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But
Cannabis.
yeah.
Just
I mean, it's hemp extract. I don't know if it's in real CBD. It came with like some CBD gummies and droplets that I got. But anyways, we just wanted to do a quick thing because we do a yearly trip for Justin's birthday, little yearly camping trip, and I figured this would be a fun way to actually talk about what we like to bring, what we've brought and serve no purpose, which I think happens a lot. Like on my motorcycle trip, I brought an entire saddlebag of like stuff to like get myself out of pickles, and I didn't run into a single pickle. So essentially, like an entire 25-liter bag on the side of my bike ended up being completely useless. The only thing I got out of it is a pair of rubber gloves because I was so cold that I needed to like try to stay warm.
I remember the year I brought those little things that you put on the end of corn so you could eat them easily.
Oh my god!
But I forgot my pillows. I didn't have any pillows, but I had corn holders.
Yeah, priorities, man. Right. But yeah. So I think we both have a little list. We've already picked out the campsite. This is primarily car camping, so we're gonna bring some heavy stuff like cast iron skillets and stuff, and kind of what we like to cook on it. But yeah, Justin, do us the rundown of what you typically like to kind of bring on a car camping trip.
Okay, so I've got a pretty ridiculous list in here somewhere.
Yes.
Let's just say that it scrolls through. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a couple thousand. Oh, that's so cool! My phone's invisible. Okay, there's a couple thousand items in here.
Okay.
Some highlights: lighter fluid, rope, hammer, sponge, knife. Simple stuff. Firewood.
Right.
We get down lower. Tent. Always have tent on the list. Never forget the tent.
Well, you know what? I mean, what about if you want to just hammock camp?
Well, that's fine as long as you don't put your hammock up outside like a couple's tent in the middle of the night when they want to hook up, and there's like a weird Frenchman. There's a weird Frenchman outside.
My God. I was not that I would have heard anything. I was like listening to my headphones. I was just trying to soak in the moment. It was smoky and foggy outside all around.
Yeah,
I was listening to like some nice mellow tunes, and I was just fucking in heaven.
Cat hasn't forgiven you yet.
Nah, all right. Well, sorry. Sorry.
Well, let's see. Scuba gear, flashlights, plates, napkins, blankets, pillows, ukulele. Everybody loves that.
Yeah. So actually, yeah. So what? Obviously, all that stuff is must-haves. What about stuff that you've brought that were useless on that list? Anything interesting?
Oh, I've brought so much useless stuff. For some reason, I'm the kind of guy who brings 4 lanterns, so I'm always carrying extra stuff.
It's not necessarily that bad because I think like if the lantern goes down, it's nice to have at least 1 or 2 backups, I guess.
Yeah, but do you need 4 backups for 2 days of camping?
Probably not.
Exactly. Not. I always bring my hatchet, but I never chop anything.
It's true.
And it's heavy as heck. Never. You know what? I don't really think I need anything. I bring so much stuff, and the only thing I actually use is a flashlight and the sleeping stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm like really, and I was watching a video from REI. There's this chick Miranda in a while. She was talking about the benefits of using a headlamp as opposed to a flashlight, and
Yeah.
I've been using a headlamp ever since a couple hurricanes ago because I got some cheapo ones on Amazon, and it is a fucking game changer. Like just a lantern and a headlamp, I really don't think anyone would ever actually technically really need a flashlight. I mean, it's nice to have in your tent just as like a quick pickup thing because I think from the stuff we like
Right.
to do like just
Yeah.
because I don't keep a headlamp in my nightstand, but I do keep a flashlight. Just kind of like the habit of using it and like trying to see what's going on outside. But
What's that? What's that? What's that?
yeah,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I have tried to uh, I've kind of given up on actually using a flashlight on the campsite. I just really
Uh,
use a headlamp.
I just bought myself a 6,000 lumen like
Oh yeah, well that's different.
Jurassic Park spotlight.
Yeah, that's different. That's more of a novelty. We could probably start a fire with that.
Yeah, no, it's legit, and it also has red and blue flashing LEDs in case you need
Oh
to
my
pull
god,
over any panthers.
Jesus. Yeah, so that's gonna be that's another thing, right? I don't know the legality in terms of firearms, so this is not advice or anything. But if you do camp somewhere with some gnarly or wildlife, right, bears and shit, that you might want to add some sort of weapon, or panthers, or knife or whatever. I have a
Yeah,
20-pound dog, so that's also my biggest thing. Um,
I've
and
I've I've protected myself by becoming too fat to eat.
true, yeah. Just they're like, fuck that big fucker.
Right?
I mean, I don't wanna waste my time trying to take him down. Um, no, but it's true though. I mean, I've done so many trips where I've brought a kabillion things, including stuff to start fire, and I still fucking utterly suck at starting a fire. I think I'm maybe by myself solo camping or me with someone like a girl on the trip. I think I'm defeated. I don't think I've ever actually started a fire properly and like had it work. If I buy the firewood on site, I feel like it's always slightly damp. And it's like I need a hatchet to kind of try to break it down into smaller pieces that are more manageable, or also don't bring any lighter fluid, or I don't bring any fire starters. Then I try to find kindling, start ripping up newspapers and magazines and shit. It just never works. That's one thing that I have to improve. Like making sure that I bring actual fire starters so I don't end up just being left with my dick in my hand, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, that's why
Because
the. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, because I've gone on a camping glamping trip, mountain biking out in on the west coast of Florida, and ended up just borrowing lighter fluid from the tent site next door. I still couldn't even get that started. So then I just went down. I just drove 20 minutes to McDonald's and came back. Had a fucking perfectly good like New York strip just sitting there. Like it, I think it just ended up sinking to the bottom of the ice, in the thing. And I was like, all right, well, that was a fucking waste.
That's something that's happened to me quite a few times. You asked me things I bring that I didn't end up using, and I don't know how many times I've had my cooler ruin a really good piece of meat.
Oh yeah.
You get it soaked and then it's just ruined.
Yeah, well, we had that issue on the Genius Spring trip, right? Like the bacon always ends up kind of touching, and then water just soaks into that cardboard. And I think I really wish maybe we should talk about this offline, but coming up with like a tray system that you just drop in so that your stuff kind of just stays ever so slightly above the actual ice,
Or maybe like a floating tray
or
that
or
would
floating.
float
Yeah,
on the ice.
yeah,
Oh, interesting.
um,
Hey guys, patent pending.
yeah,
Don't.
yeah. But also, no, and even last time, I think we had a little bit of an issue when we tried to cook the steaks on those charcoals. I think they never got quite hot enough for some reason, right? The last night when we made those steaks, they took a little bit longer than anticipated.
Well, it's an open charcoal grill, so
Yeah.
it's not like at home where you can close the lid and really get
Hmm.
500, 600
Or
degrees.
or even when we're headed next month, it's the grate sits on top of your fire. So if you just get your fire ripping, which is something that I'm also talking about when you're car camping, and if you plan on making steaks, um, one of my favorite go-to is steak and corn when I'm camping out. So bring in like a cast iron heavy duty skillet and some aluminum foil. You can wrap your corn in a couple layers of foil, let it cook up 20, 30 minutes. I don't think you can actually overcook corn, can you?
I've never successfully overcooked corn.
Yeah, same. It gets a little charred, but if it's in the foil, it's not going to burn.
It
And then,
actually tastes better charred. Yeah.
yeah, and you can leave it in the husk. Out of the husk, you can put butter, salt, seasoning, however you want. Um, and then what we ended up doing is just hard sear. I mean, when the pan is on top of the fire, it's probably 6, 7, 800 degrees. You get a really nice crust, and you can, I mean, we got fancy last time. I did a butter base with some. I don't know if we had garlic, but we definitely did a butter base, and it was really good.
And
So,
then we did elote for the corn.
oh
We
yeah,
made
yeah,
Mexican street
yeah.
corn.
Mexican street corn, that was fucking delicious. So that's a nice thing, right? That's one thing I'll say. If I'm car camping, I don't mind bringing an entire extra black yellow Tupperware bins that you get at Home Depot with just cooking equipment, because I think it just elevates the trip that much. Obviously, if you're like backpacking, you're not taking a cast iron skillet with you, but for things like that, it's definitely definitely nice. And I'm sorry we're going to be a little bit all over the place. I'm just kind of riffing, looking at the list of stuff that I've done. But we were talking about sleeping arrangements earlier. You've done two different kind of sleeping arrangements, right? Last time I think you had a teepee.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've got a standard tent,
yeah,
and I've got a tactical teepee.
and didn't you have cots in there?
No, I had air mattresses. I'm working on getting a queen size cot.
Okay.
Mostly because my knees are getting bad and it's hard to get up off the air mattress in the morning.
Right.
When you have to pee after the 48th beer. But so I want to get a cot, and they make a queen size one so you and your significant other can be in bed together.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a good 2 feet off the ground, so it's more comfortable.
Right. And also better heat, right? It's better for the heat retention. You don't get as cold.
Yeah, which is something we rarely have to worry about, but every now and then. Oh, when I was camping in Ginny Springs the second time, it was 28 degrees, and the air mattress was like a refrigerator.
Right. Yeah. It's I guess the ground sucks in that heat, and then it just drains right out of you.
Yeah, it was like laying in a wet pool, or like a cold pool all day.
Yeah, that's rough. I was gonna say, for me, I've done camping where I kind of have a bunch of backpacking stuff that's light and fast. Like remember that inflatable single person mattress that you just do a couple pumps and just boom, there it is, and it's insulated. And then also have like I think it's a 2-person tent. But it's one of those Alpine style. It's a cheap one. It's from Alps Mountaineering, Alps Engineering. Got it on Amazon, but it's pretty light. It's literally 2 poles that fold into multiple pieces, and it makes into a U shape, a smaller U shape for the back, a bigger U shape for the front. It's got the big awnings on the side, so even if it rains, like on that motorcycle trip, I was able to keep the weatherproof duffel bag outside the mesh part, but still covered. And then I kept my helmet and all my actual clothes that I needed inside the tent. We went camping like that. And then this time, I think I am going to bring, again, because I'm taking the truck and now I actually bought those things, I'm going to bring an inflatable mattress in that same tent that I had last time. It's just, the only thing is it is a little bit more time consuming to unpack it than to hang it at the end of the day, right? When you get back, you're supposed, technically speaking, depending on the weather, you should really kind of unpack all your stuff and like let it air out so it doesn't smell like.
I've never done that in my entire life.
No?
No, I've camped 1,000 times. I just have a stinky tent when I go next time. Who cares? It's
Fair enough.
Camping,
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, plus, I guess it can air out fairly easily, but yeah, so that's another thing, right? Just make sure you're comfortable, because not being comfortable when you're sleeping, if you're outdoors and you're already kind of weird, right? It's not glamping. Depends. You can glamp. I've gone places. We've gone to a place where we were talking last time. There's showers and bathroom and hot water, but where we're headed this time only has essentially a glorified outhouse.
Yeah, it's a permanent outhouse.
So
Okay.
So if you're not already, you feel a little grimy from not being able to shower. I think last thing you want to do is not be able to sleep.
Oh, I got us a shower for this time.
Okay, I think we were also talking about that last time. Yeah. What do you have now?
I bought us a 5-gallon solar shower.
Okay.
Just
I
a
think
It's a rubber bag you hang up in a tree.
I literally that's what I have too. I found it.
So,
It's my brother's, but he left it bagged up with the sleeping pad because he went camping. Oh, and bring a pump if you're bringing an inflatable mattress. Like
oh
bring
yeah, always bring it. Yeah.
a car pump that plugs into your cigarette lighter, or my truck has an actual household outlet in the back seat, so I was able to use that. And bring an
I've
extension
got
cord.
one that uses batteries,
Right.
which is nice because every air mattress slowly leaks. So
Yeah.
I've got it in the tent in the middle of the night when you're on the ground, you can blow it back up.
True. Yeah, that sucks. Mine does that. I feel like mine only leaks till it's like halfway, then it just kind of settles because I never touch the ground, but I feel like it's never quite as tight as it was when I first got on.
Yeah.
Um,
It's sort of like a memory foam. It sort of adjusts to you.
yeah, right. Another thing too, obviously, depending where you're camping, and we're just talking about that when we're figuring out where we're headed. Insect repellents, bug spray. And also, they were talking. I guess we recently had an issue of ants.
Red ants. Yeah. My buddy's foot blew up to 3 times its normal size. We had to send him home.
Actually, who's coming this time?
We're gonna have Peter. We're gonna have you, me. Lewis is driving down from Alabama
Hell yeah!
with Psycho.
Oh,
And
Psycho's his dog, not his
Psycho's his
girlfriend.
dog.
We're not talking shit about his significant other.
Could be either one. We might also get Anthony and Kelsey if they aren't prissy little bitches.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
Oh, and Josh. Josh is going.
Lieutenant Dan, Josh?
Lieutenant Dan. Yeah,
Okay.
Lieutenant Dan.
Interesting. I can't picture him camping. I guess this is gonna be interesting.
This will be his second time ever.
Okay. All right.
He's
good.
fine.
I'm
likes
sure
to
he's
drink,
fine.
You know,
He gets fucked up. I'm sure he'll be eating mushrooms with everybody else. And
the first year he came, he brought like the world's loudest portable Bluetooth speaker.
Oh, I think Peter was talking about that. I think he was saying how fucking miserable that was.
It was because he's playing Kenny Chesney at like 700 decibels in the middle of paradise.
I think that's why last time we ended up not listening to anything because I think somebody was like, "No music this time," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, we couldn't. We needed a break.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, a Bluetooth speaker is nice depending where you're going. Like where we went, everybody was playing music, so we brought
Jenny? Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was a different sitch. We're I guess, is this considered wilderness camping?
Where we're going is very much wilderness camping.
Yeah. All right. Well, then there we go. Now, what do you think is kind of like one of the things you've had that was like the most clutch that really kind of fucking that you didn't really think you're like, oh, I'm probably not going to use it. And now it's like kind of a must bring for you because you've done this a lot more than me.
Toilet paper.
True.
Toilet paper all day. Oh, you know what? Laser pointer. I've got a nice laser pointer, and that really makes it a lot of fun being out there with the stars. You can point things out.
Oh yeah, I think we did that. That's true.
That's a lot of fun.
I don't remember. Is there because where we are is in the Everglades, kind of sort of in the middle of the state, but it's also very close to the highway, and it's not necessarily super far from civilization, even though it's kind of it's really far to get there. But if you were like a crows fly, it's not that far. Was there? I don't really remember seeing too much of the.
Well, we were there last time with a full moon, so it's hard to see. But
that's what it
last
was.
Time,
yeah,
like a month and a half ago when we went, it was new moon. You could see the Milky Way, and it was during the Geminid meteor shower, and we could we saw like 40 shooting stars.
Fuck. Hang on. Let's where can you Google that real quick? See, is that what kind of moon we're gonna get on your birthday weekend?
Stand by.
All right, cool. I'll fill in the Tom and Justin look at the internet. Obviously bring water bottles. A trick that I've yet to use, but I've heard a lot of campers talk about, especially if you're sleeping somewhere colder, an Nalgene bottle. I bring a Yeti because it's metal and it's indestructible and it stays cold for a long time. But I also bring the Nalgene. I'll fill it both with water because you can get some water boiling and you can use it as something to stay warm in your tent. You can stuff it by your feet or kind of by your whatever, however you like to sleep, snuggle it. I also do camp with my dog, and she has kind of a compressible camping little doggy pad, um, tarps. That's kind of pretty important. And if you want to bring some of those rope, yeah, paracord. I think I have like 100 meters of paracord. You can do anything with it. If you end up having bad weather or it gets too hot, you can throw up your tarp, turn it into awning, shading. It gets rains, you can do the same thing. If you want to
hang up your garbage.
If you want to lay if you want to set it on the ground so you have like non-dirt ground by the entrance of your tent. Also, something that I never thought of that my brother ended up keeping inside the bag where the inflatable mattress was. He put a cheap like front door mat, but not like hard like the normal front door mats. It's like soft and rollable.
Yeah, I have the same thing.
And you just stick it in front of your fucking tent. It's a game changer because you just get in and you kind of swipe your feet or leave your sandals out there or whatever, your shoes. And it's like you're not dragging anywhere. Because if you're like outside your tent, skipping on one foot as you're trying to take your shoes off, you're like tipping over and shit. And obviously, if you're camping, you're probably drinking. Game changer, absolute game changer. I think was fantastic, and it's definitely on the list to bring.
Okay, so I got a moon update.
Yeah, go ahead.
The day we arrive is the new moon.
So Friday night.
Right. So there's no moon.
So that means it's going to be bright.
We should be able, assuming the skies are clear, we'll be able to see the stars.
I'll make sure I update. I have one of the stargazing apps on my phone that's based on the GPS.
That's a great one too. I have a good one.
Yeah, I'll make sure I re-download it because my phone keeps offloading apps that I use like once every year to save room. But other thing, obviously, a lot of shit runs on batteries. Bring more batteries than you think you would need.
And a battery bank for your cell phone is nice, so you don't have to be running the car.
Yeah, and duct tape.
I haven't really ever had to use my duct tape, but I always bring it.
Yeah. Well, what I did this time is I brought a spare little micro flashlight that came with like some sort of. It was like a stocking stuffer gift. It was like a little kit and this little light. So what I did is I took a roll of Gorilla duct tape and I unrolled a certain amount, and I just rolled it around the flashlight. So now the flashlight serves two purposes. It's still that tall. It just got a little bit girthier. But now it's a dispenser for duct tape, and it's also a spare flashlight in case for some reason everything else breaks.
Yeah.
So, and try to find multi-purposes like that. I figured the most I could really use that for is if somehow something gets ripped in the tent and just fill the gap or whatever.
Well, it would be good for fixing a hole in a tent.
Yeah.
If you put like your tent pole through it while you're setting up or something.
Right. Or, if you have a dog, he or she freaks out and runs through it, which I've heard it happens. But what about I thought I'd bring more water than you think you need.
Water and firewood. If you're going to a place where firewood's iffy, bring firewood. Go to Home Depot, buy that firewood.
Yeah.
I find a bag lasts about 2 hours.
If you can get it working, unless you're me, and then a bag lasts you 3 weeks because you still haven't got it fucking working. And I actually had those compressed fire starters, but they still burn out in a couple minutes. And if the wood isn't fully dry, it's still not good enough to get it cranking. You know what I mean? It's just
you gotta start with small. You don't try to light the wood on fire at first. You gotta light some little sticks, and then you light some bigger sticks. So
that's what I'm saying. It's like a little.
Well, I know, but you don't just go from that straight to the wood. You need to have an intermediate.
Yeah. We're gonna do a Thomas Starts a Fire lesson. I also did make some fire starters out of cardboard egg crate, lint, and wax.
Mm-hmm.
which I'm bringing. They're in a Ziploc bag, and it's kind of nice because I guess they kind of sort of waterproof since the wax is covering the lint, and then the cardboard can dry out and all that stuff is going. Uh, but yeah, and also a trick that I've figured out because of thermal mass. Somebody one day was talking about thermal mass, and it made me think. I was playing something for a camping trip, and I was like, so if it's bigger and more, it would make sense. So what I do is I bring usually 4 gallons of water, and I'll take 3 gallons, open all of them, take a couple sips out of each, or like fill up a glass and drink that, and then stick them in the freezer. Obviously, you're making room for expansion. And then I stick them in the cooler. Then I put all my beers. Then I put my first layer of ice. Then I put more beers on top, then more ice, and then you kind of layer it like that. Because of the giant gallons of water that are frozen solid, I noticed that the ice actually lasts a lot longer and doesn't melt quite as fast. Um, so I don't know, maybe it was just anecdotal, and maybe it was just because the weather conditions were right for that to happen like that. But I think technically speaking, it would make sense, right? Those big things staying colder
Well,
longer.
they also have less surface area to volume. The larger an item is, the surface area to volume is
Right.
ratio changes.
So I think that's been a great trick that I've done every single time since I've done it. I kind of felt it was like almost like a eureka moment. I was like, this is fucking great. I can't believe more people don't talk about it.
I had that same moment when I dug out my good cooler and brought that instead of bringing my crappy cooler.
Right.
A good cooler makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go Yeti where you don't have to you don't have to take out a loan to buy a cooler. You get yourself an Igloo. Just have a nice one with a real lid that closes. Make sure the lid closes.
Is it a lid? When you say the lid that closes with like those,
I have hinges. Yeah. This one has hinges, and then when you close it, it has a little a metal latch. You turn it, and then it actually locks down.
Okay, I got you.
I've got it's actually a metal Coleman cooler.
Okay, cool.
I like that one, and it was like $60.
60 or 16?
6D 60.
60. Okay.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean,
no, it's fine. Whatever.
Not like
that works.
I went into the West Marine and I looked at the Yetis, and I literally saw a Yeti cooler for over $600.
Yeah, it's shit. That shit is absolute madness. And I'm a big fan of Yeti stuff, but like this thing is bananas. But yeah,
I'm more of an Ozark Trail kind of guy. Give me the Walmart brand.
Yeah, man. However, it gets the job done. My Tanda is Ozark.
They're both made in the same China.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. But what about I feel like last time we went, we kind of nailed the cooking. And there was a couple dishes that we made that were kind of, I don't know, I thought were really good. It's not that good, but it was the little smokies and bacon and fucking beans. It's pretty fucking good.
You can't go wrong with bacon, beans, and little smokies.
Yeah, so it's like pigs in a blanket site. Well, so what are little smokies actually? Are they different than just mini hot dogs?
They're actually, I think they're more like little sausages. They'd be more of a type of like a sweet sausage than a hot dog.
Okay. So yeah, and they come in a can, or no? Or was it like a vacuum sealed little thing?
Well, it's like I don't know. It's like a peel top can. It's like a rectangle.
Okay.
Normally.
Hey, like a sardine can type thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Like a Spam can or whatever, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You can also get them in like the same way you get hot dogs, kind of vacuum sealed.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's what I remember. Yeah, you just kind of sear them and brown them in the big cast iron on the fire. Mm-hmm. Then with some bacon, then you kind of let everything cook in the bacon fat. Then you just when everything gets a little crispy, you dump the beans on top. It's pretty, like, especially like a brown sugar. What is it? I still have that giant can of beans, which I plan on bringing because then we can use it, especially if we're rolling in like 8 deep like that.
Yeah.
They'll definitely get used. And bring a can opener because I've almost forgot to bring it. It would have been a shame to not be able to open up any of the cans of beans. But yeah, that stuff was Oh man, for breakfast, I sometimes think about it for breakfast, and I'm not a big breakfast guy, but it's especially, I mean, we're also drunk and hungover. It's fantastic for that
Yeah.
with some
Oh
eggs.
man.
Yeah, I got really hungry all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make some chicken nuggets after this.
Still haven't had dinner.
Oh, I bet
Um,
those would be good for camping. Chicken nuggets. You can cook them right on the flat top.
oh
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. That
some
too.
grilled nuggets. Ooh.
Oh yeah. Um, but yeah, I think those are. Oh, another thing that I made. I brought uh top ramen noodles, but I didn't use the packets. I just made my own kind of like peanut sauce with peanut butter, little bit of honey, a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of different seasonings. Uh, a, if you're into it, a little bit of fish sauce. I put a little bit of oyster in there also for like a little bit more sweetness. And then I brought it in a little container, and then I just dump a couple spoonfuls into just plain boiled ramen noodles for like a quick lunch, as opposed to just like doing your normal hot dogs out there. It's kind of nice, like just to like get something in your stomach, and it literally takes 2 minutes. Especially now that I have a jet boil, which so that means it's gonna be a lot easier to actually make coffee this time, because last time trying to make that pot on the it was just a shit show. So you just get the jet boil going, you make that. I'm pretty excited. I'll probably end up bringing a little bit of that um,
I uh,
as
I
camp food.
I don't get you caffeine heads. You guys always need your coffee in the morning. Just wake up and have a beer like the rest of us.
Or yeah, or you just put a little bit of whiskey in it, whatever.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
I had some great hot coffee at Ginny when it was 28 degrees out.
that's the thing. It's warm. Like I think it's not so much about the coffee. I think it's more about the fact that it's a warm liquid on a cold morning.
I got you.
Obviously bring weather specific clothes. I mean that's kind of um, you know, that goes
Clean up your
without saying.
garbage. Clean up your
Yeah,
damn garbage.
yeah. So leave no trace, type situation where you just like the campsite we're going. Those big green poles and stuff where we hung the trash. Was that meant for hammocks, or is that meant for actually trash hanging?
No, it's meant for a lantern and a trash bag.
Okay, so the trash bag goes higher, no
Yeah,
lower, and then
but you
the
don't leave it there overnight. That's just for while you're in camp.
okay.
Um, they provide because there are bears and other animals there, so
Yeah.
they provide.
And didn't you see a panther?
Yeah, I saw a panther walk into our campsite while we were taking the garbage away last time.
Like how close?
How close to our campsite, or how close was I to the panther?
The ladder.
100 feet.
How big was it?
The size of a great of like a whippet or like a greyhound.
Okay, because a whippet is
A
Nova
little smaller.
size.
And
A
it has
greyhound is more like lab size.
yeah, it's like a skinny lab. You know, like
Yeah, yeah,
Psycho
okay.
looks like a
Yeah,
greyhound mixed
yeah.
with
Was
a
it?
lab.
Would you say it was about Psycho size?
Yeah, I'd say it looked to be about 70 pounds.
Jesus.
60 pounds. It was very light colored. I've seen a few different colors of them. I've seen like the in Florida what you would consider like the golden the classic panther color, like that golden color,
Mm-hmm.
like a creamy golden. I've
Right.
seen that. I've also seen ones that were so dark they were almost black, um, like a dark gray.
Interesting.
And this one was kind of like in the middle color wise.
Right.
And we drove the car down to the dumpsters because it's about a half a mile. And as we're
Right.
driving back, right before we pull into our campsite, panther walks out from the one side of the road, which is a big savanna, stops, looks towards us, driving towards it, and it's like, "Oh, a car's coming," and just walks into our campsite.
Nope. 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 Yeah.
And I was like, "Let's go find it," and Cat was freaking out. Of
Yeah.
course,
That makes sense. I would not. I wouldn't be nervous for myself, even though I mean they can fuck people up. But I would be, especially because Nova tends to spend quite a bit of time. She's really good with recall. She doesn't stretch. She doesn't go far. The furthest she'll find her is she'll go inside the truck and actually like go lay in the back seat as opposed to being on the ground. But I'm like, whew, God forbid she gets snatched up. Fuck,
yeah.
that would not be fun. Uh, and I mean, is there anything else, anything camping food wise that you've done that you've liked that you've enjoyed?
I really enjoy the classic hot dog. I
Yeah,
there's just something about they're so easy to cook,
yeah,
and the bread, the meat, it's just a little bit of ketchup, maybe some mayonnaise, some
yeah, with a
mustard,
little
whatever you put.
mustard or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very warm and refreshing snack.
yeah,
The elote, the street corn was next level. That
yeah.
was
I
next
think it was
level.
probably one of the best things I've ever eaten at a campsite, and I've gone to like a full on glamping with like an entire fire department a few times, where all those people actually like every night is a different potluck, like made from scratch clam chowder. They did a whole pig in a china box. There was um what's that Mexican spicy chocolate? Somebody
Moho,
made
moho,
something like that. Yeah, like a dark
mole,
spicy mole,
mole,
a
mole.
vegan mole chili that
Hmm.
was like fucking mind numbing with like homemade cornbread. So I'm not like that was that's not really like it was better eating than you do at like most fucking normal restaurants. But camping wise, that and I'm actually drooling that street corn with that what's that salt that's on
Oh,
there?
it's tahine.
Tahine. You know what?
Tahine is good.
Actually, I kind of want to. I want to get a little. What is it? Like a fifth? Those smaller bottles?
Of tahine.
No, of vodka and some Bloody Mary mix. And
Oh,
put a little bit of that in there for one of the mornings.
some spice. Well, tahine might, because remember it's also got the lime in it, so that might be really good.
Yeah, I just thought of that.
Patent
I'll,
pending.
but
Patent
yeah, I'll
pending.
put it. I'll put it on the list. The fucking Bloody Mary mix and uh, vodka. But
And I'm
yeah, I
gonna
mean,
bring. I think I'm gonna bring a gallon of Jameson.
ooh, I think I'm gonna be. I think I'm gonna stick to like. I'm gonna bring one 12 pack of IPA and a 24 pack of Coors, and that's gonna be it.
How many nights are you coming for?
So Friday night, Saturday night. So
Okay, because
same amount of.
we're gonna do Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, same. So, but I'm gonna try to leave work a little bit early.
No, I mean we're staying Sunday night as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
because
I'm
we're.
gonna go. I gotta go home. Yeah.
Uh,
Um, one last question. I don't even know how long we've been rolling. I don't think even that long. I think it's only been 35 minutes. Um, what have you brought that either was a complete fucking the shittiest thing ever and you'll never use it again, or stuff that you've brought so many times and never used that you just won't bring again?
you know what? I got one. Okay, so I've got a Maglite flashlight, like one of those old school, like
Yeah,
8D battery, the
yeah,
one the cops would use to beat kids.
yeah.
And I gotta tell you, that is the most disappointing flashlight. It's got the standard halogen bulb. I haven't upgraded it to an LED yet, and
Right,
that thing it weighs 46 pounds, and you can barely light up the porta potty with it.
right. I mean,
That's
you can beat the if you get attacked by that panther, you can beat the panther off of you, I guess. But that's about it, huh?
Yeah, but if the panther gets a hold of it, he can beat me with it.
I think he's missing thumbs. I don't think that's how that works.
You know what? Nature finds a way, Thomas.
There.
Did I get you while you were drinking? I
Yeah, a
always
little
make
bit.
people laugh when they're drinking. I'm sorry.
Anything else? I'm trying to think of me. I got a couple things from a motorcycle trip I'll bring up in a second, but
Yeah, no. That's. I mean, I I try to I bring a lot, but I end up using most of it.
yeah, and nothing that was like this is going to be a game changer. Then it's like an abject failure. Trying to think if I've ever
Oh, you
dealt.
know what? Yeah, no. I always end up bringing my hammocks, thinking I'm gonna have a great time in a hammock, and I don't think in the last 6 times I've gone camping I actually laid in one of them.
Okay, I see. I had the opposite. I think every time I bring it, I end up breaking it out somehow, somewhere. To a point where I went somewhere where they weren't allowed, and I actually like the camp people were like, get off of here, and like take this down.
You can't have a ham. What?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe the type of trees they didn't want us, but they made me take it down.
Oh wow.
It was like it was like a campsite in Sebastian. Um, but when I went on that motorcycle trip, like I said, essentially everything that was in my left saddlebag was useless. So I brought a motorcycle jack. I brought, in case I got a flat, I also had a tire patch kit and an inflator that you can plug in a cigarette lighter. Didn't use any of that. Like all the tools, just everything. I don't even remember how much stuff I had in there. Like a tourniquet. Oh, a first aid kit is important. I don't know if you necessarily need a tourniquet, but I brought a tourniquet because I was like, if I eat it and I just somehow like cut an artery, maybe I can just tourniquet myself. I don't know. I don't know. I was like, better be prepared.
I brought an MRI machine.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, like baby wipes, hand sanitizers. Yeah, I just had so much, like an
oh,
entire saddle
always
bag.
bring like aspirin or a leave or something when one of those campsite
Yeah.
headaches kick in. That's a big one.
You mean a hangover?
Campsite headaches. It's pronounced campsite headache.
Fair enough.
It's not a hangover if you never stop drinking.
It's true. Which is kind of how that usually works. But I've had stuff like that where it was just utterly useless. Like I said, I mean, I brought some backup that were not used. Oh, motorcycle trip, I brought a little folding triangle, like super light chair, as opposed to getting one of those that like breaks down in multiple pieces that you put together. It's just like three legs that tell it like collapse together, then then they stretch out, and it's like a triangle about that big to sit on. Never fucking used it. First off, because I'm already sitting down 12 hours a day on my motorcycle, and second, there's no backing to it, so
Yeah,
it
you can't lean
renders
back.
it renders the chair useless unless maybe you post it up next to a tree, and then you end up just leaning back on the tree. So that was kind of a waste of however much money that cost. I think those Trichologies or lightweight kind of folding chairs that have a back to them is probably way better of an investment than one of those. Unless you need something in a pinch that you don't want to assemble, those are kind of garbage. I think. But
Yeah, I really like my. I got a couple of Coleman heavy duty big boy chairs,
yeah,
folding chairs. I love them.
yeah, that's what I have too. I bought it for like either $5, $10, or $15 at the very most at Walmart, an Ozark one or whatnot, and it's great. I mean, it's getting a little sun faded now, but it's got a little. Oh yeah, doesn't yours have like a whole magnet thing so you can put different? You can put your phone charger and then like the
Oh no, it's got a
wires
bunch
don't.
of. No, it's just got a bunch of pockets.
Yeah,
It's got a whole bunch of zipper pockets and clear pockets and all sorts of things like that.
yeah. Mine only has a beer holder. That's it. But it gets the fucking job done. Um, Also, I mean, obviously, if you're bringing a dog, bring poop bags. I'm
Yeah,
bringing that. Uh, just be comfortable. You know what I mean? And because and I guess bring extra clothes because if you're wet, you're kind of miserable. Then you get chafy. So and stuff that dries fast. Don't bring any cotton. Like I try to bring all synthetic blend stuff when I'm out there. You kind of stink, and it's kind of not the best, but it's better than being wet in case there's like a quick rainstorm and it gets cold. At least the synthetic stuff kind of helps keep you warm, or not as cold and dries a little bit faster. Um, that's kind of how I rolled on that motorcycle trip because I got caught in some pretty gnarly weather. Um, and in a jet boil, I mean, I guess if you can find the fuel and get one, it does make your life way easier. Just boil water super quick for coffee, which I'm excited to actually bring and use because last time was a bit of a pain to get it working. No, to get the fire hot enough to get the water boiling and do all of that, but it worked out all right.
yeah.
It worked out all right. Is there anything else?
No, I'm just looking on this GoFundMe on Indiegogo. I ordered this new camping chair about a year ago.
Oh my god!
That folds down into
A Transformers.
It's similar like the chair you were talking about, except it actually provides back support.
Oh,
It it
interesting.
it telescopes. So after you unfold the three legs, the
Hmm.
two legs for your back can telescope out and become a full back support.
You know what? I think I may have seen it actually. I think I may
And
have seen it on one of those camping sites.
and
Or
I did my I backed the product for $79 back in August of last year.
August 2020.
August 2020, and right now it says it should ship in January. So there is a possibility I might have this new chair,
You
and
should,
I'll definitely do a review on that because it's
you should email them and be like, "Yo, what's up with that? Like, let's get it. I'm going camping. That'd
yeah,
be
because
great."
I'm an influencer now, so they should
Yeah, right.
you know
For sure.
right.
For sure. Um. Oh, you know what? It's cool. If you, especially if you're camping a little bit more light and fast, because I didn't know where I was headed. Had showers when I was on a motorcycle trip. I got one of the. You ever watch those Olympic swim divers? Those divers. They have these little rectangle like chamois, and they
Oh yeah,
just
it's like
give
a
themselves.
ShamWell, right? It's a
Yeah,
ShamWell for your buddy.
yeah. So I got one of those because I used to swim when I was growing up, and that's what I had instead of carrying a big ass towel. It literally you squeeze it and you just it's about that big inside the tube. It's not made out of microfiber. It's literally made like the chamois you used to dry your car.
Right. It
It's like
feels
this
like
weird,
leather, but it's not.
yeah. Um, and I ended up taking a shower on the first morning because I didn't know there were showers and I didn't really know the layout. So I brought it just in case, and I ended up just using the hand soap that they had in the bathroom so I could bathe myself with it real quick in a pinch. But I used it to dry myself, and it worked out great. So if you end up going somewhere and like you might get wet, bring that. It doesn't hurt. Or if for your dog, if your dog gets wet, or like we said, we're gonna bring those showers. Um, it definitely is a nice thing. And is your shower bag? Is it black?
Yeah, so it heats up in the
Is it the
sun.
Coleman one?
No, I got an off-brand on Amazon for like $6.
Okay, the one that I found is a Coleman.
Uh,
Uh,
I don't think the brand really matters.
no, not at all.
It's
I
just
was
a
just
bag you
curious.
hanging on,
Yeah.
and it's got a
Just
silly little hose and a silly little faucet.
right. It's just a giant plastic bladder essentially.
Right.
Trying to think. Oh,
But the girlfriend really wants it.
no,
Last
I
time
get it.
I had to give her a bath using a gallon jug of water and just kept splashing it on her.
Yeah. Oh my god. Just you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
That's when you break out like an actual brush at the end of like a broomstick, and you're like just kind of like as if you're like washing the roof of your car. I like a car wash. And it's like just splashing water. Trying to think, the hammock is definitely. It's funny that you're one a big fan because I do love bringing mine out. If you're actually, you know what? Here's a trick for you next time you go somewhere cold on inflatable mattress. If you don't have the cod by then, if you get two of those closed cell foam, I think it's called like a Z sole from Thermarest. It's like it folds accordion style. One side is yellow or orange or green, the other one is like aluminum colored. It's about that thick, but it folds probably like that.
Hmm.
If you lay those as a base layer, that will make like a very good insulation from your inflatable mattress to the ground. So if you get two of them, you just lay them next to each other, put your inflatable mattress on top. It would keep you insulated, like 100. Like I
Mm.
think it's got like a four something R rating. And also, if you have a dog and it's cold, same. You can just cut them, right? Because they fold, so you can cut it to the size of your dog and then just bring that and then stick it under their sleeping pad so they can stay warm.
But the
Uh,
idea of bringing a dog is to the dog keeps you warm.
that too. Yeah, I mean Nova does great. She's we snuggle, so it's not bad. Um, but yeah, bring drinks. Whiskey. If you're going car camping against and you have a cooler, it's not a big deal to bring a ton of beer. I do like to bring a flask of whiskey just because powered rate ratio is definitely great, and it's not that bad if it's a little bit warm.
Right. Well, it
Uh,
is. It is as bad, but you don't have to drink as much of it. It's
well,
terrible warm, but
yeah, no, not warm, but if you keep it like in the shade, it's not gonna get super warm. And then if you swirl it around It gets cool enough, and it's not too bad. I mean, I think it's better than vodka or tequila to have
Agreed.
out there,
Agreed.
or Jaeger or something else. Whiskey.
Blech.
Yeah, can you
Blech.
imagine warm Jaeger? Um, but what I actually discovered? I got a bottle of peanut butter flavored whiskey.
Oh, you tried that? We had that at the bar.
What do
We
you
got that
think?
in as a sample bottle. Um, I think it was terrible. I hated it. It was almost as bad as the chocolate whiskey we got.
Oh no, that sounds awful. No,
They
the
were.
peanut. I
You
don't.
like
I
the
loved
peanut?
it. I like the. It's in the freezer. You put
It's
it
good
one.
in a couple. My bartender made a few drinks that were actually okay with it, but
Okay.
the whiskey straight, I can't stand it.
Not even a shot.
No, no. But when you mix it into like
What
a,
about cold, chilled, or something?
I don't know. I tried it at room
I keep
temperature.
mine in the freezer. So, uh,
Hey man, you know what? I'll stick to my Jameson. I won't take your. Don't worry, I won't steal your
no,
peanut
no, it's
butter
fine.
whiskey.
I'm not gonna bring that. I'm gonna bring. I'm either gonna bring Tin Cup or Larceny. This is good. I got this for Christmas. Hang on, let me see here. This thing.
Oh, okay, I've never tried that one.
Yeah, it's good shit. It's actually what I got.
Is that whiskey or is that a bourbon?
Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey. Small
Ah,
batch,
okay.
92 proof, wheated bourbon, mash bill, 46%.
Yeah, it looked like a bourbon.
You know what? I'm starving.
You're just
I
gonna
was
take
having
some
Tin Cup. I was having Colorado whiskey because that's not bourbon since it's not from
Kentucky.
Kentucky, right? So
Well, I'm not sure. Is that what makes bourbon bourbon? We had this conversation before. We're not really
we've had a lot
like
of conversations that we don't remember.
we don't know a lot about anything, but we know nothing about a lot.
Yeah, right. We just know enough to like make a conversation and make ourselves sound stupid. But
Wow, is that got a cork top?
mhm.
I could hear it.
Yeah. And
It's
it's
a,
and
it's a
the other
nice
one I
sound.
like. The other one I like is this Tin Cup. That's the Colorado one.
Mm-hmm.
Same, and it comes every bottle comes with their own little shot
Tin cup,
glass.
little tin cup.
Yeah. Maybe you
I
know
like
what?
that.
Maybe I'll just bring. I don't want to just drink that on a camping trip. That'd be way too intense. If I just did like old Western style, where just all I had was a bottle of whiskey and a little tin cup.
Well, you need an unmarked bottle of whiskey. You need a
I can
yeah to go
peel
old
the
west.
labels off.
Yeah.
Oh, another thing that I got that is so fucking dumb that I splurge on. I still use it. Still kind of cool. I got a Snow Peak titanium insulated little tumbler, but it doesn't have a top, so essentially just a small cup. Of for insulated for whiskey sipping, and it is great. I can still also use it in my house. It's got a really thin lip. It's super nice. It's actually got a thinner lip than this glassware. Um, but it was dumb. It was like I think it was like $45 for like
For a tumbler,
for not even a tumbler, dude. It's so
like a
tiny.
rock.
It doesn't
It's a
even
rock glass. Yeah.
yeah, but it's titanium and it looks cool and it's so incredibly light that it's kind of dope to have. And I use it more in the house than I do camping. But it was one of those things. I think it was a bit of a splurge, but again, I still use it on a regular basis because sometimes I like drinking out of it better than I like drinking one of these.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is normally titanium. You said it's insulated.
Yeah, it's double walled.
Oh, it's got a vacuum. It's a vacuum insulation.
I don't even know.
Theoretically,
Yeah, I guess.
got negative quarks and quantum fluctuations and shit in there.
Right. Yeah, it's quantum physics, so it can be in two different places at the same
It can
time.
be both warm
Yet,
and cold.
yes. And then it could be in the same place at the same time doing something different on different timelines and different universes.
And you just don't know until you taste it.
Right.
Right.
And then it appears and reappears, and that's what aliens are. They're
Yeah.
quantum anomalies.
Facts.
Yes, exactly. Facts and
Facts.
fictions.
Write it down. It's fact.
Yeah. But is there a dish that you want us to try to make? I know we've talked about food a couple times. But besides the corn and the steak and
I
the
was
smokies, is there something you're craving? Like, did we do s'mores last time?
We did
Gene Springs
s'mores
would just.
last time,
It
but
is
I don't really
nice.
like s'mores. I just eat the marshmallow and chocolate cold. I don't like to heat them up. I'm a weirdo.
That's fine. That's fine.
But no, I'm thinking we're gonna do the elote again.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe this time I had a little bit of skirt steak on the last trip and I liked it. I might go all out and get a whole bunch of skirt steak because it cooked really good over the fire.
Uh, you know where I went to actually buy meat today, and I think it's a fucking game changer. You've heard of Wild Forks?
No.
It's only frozen meats. It's
Huh.
small. I got 3 salmon skin on fillets, 2 New York strips, 1 8-ounce bison New York strip,
Mm.
3 pork chops, pretty thin, nothing super big. It was $41. They all vacuum sealed in individual bags and flash frozen. So I'm thinking it's probably what I'm going to end up bringing. I'm going to thaw one the night before. That way it's thawed out for the night of. Or I might just eat something on the way. I may just stop by like a McDonald's on the way down or something, Taco Bell, whatever. Because I'm probably going to get there around 8-ish. And at that point, I'm probably just going to party. But for the next day, yeah, I can, get a couple steaks and make those.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. There's a
Because
new there's a
and they're
new
not gonna. And the problem is they're not, since they're individually vacuum sealed.
they won't go
Even
bad
it,
in the cooler.
yeah,
Yeah. Hell yeah.
yeah, it's
Boom.
yeah. It's I saw. I went there. I've been
Patent
wanting to
pending.
go, and then I saw it, and then we're talking about steaks, and I was like, where am I gonna get the steaks? And I was like, oh shit. And I guess they're dry. I don't know. I don't think they're choice or prime or whatever. I think they had better cuts of meat, but I just got the cheaper ones today just to try, see how it is. And then if it's good, I'll splurge more and like get higher quality meats. They had $130 A5 Japanese Wagyu steaks there,
Oh wow.
like that were frozen in vacuum sealed bags.
Wow.
So
There's a new butcher over on Cough Cordova where the quarter deck was before they moved it
mhm.
off of 17th Street. They just opened up a new like custom butcher. I need to check that place out.
um, that's awesome. I would love to check that out too. Palm Beach Meats on Instagram. They do those incredible, like they do a 32-ounce A9 Australian Wagyu tomahawk for like $90.
I don't even know what A9 means.
I think it's like one of the highest ratings. I think Japanese go to like A5, and Australian goes to like a 9 or a 10 in terms of like the quality and the marbling of the meat.
Oh wow.
But it's $90 when you
Yeah.
think about it. I mean, it's a fuck ton of money, but it's also not that much when you're thinking of a 32-ounce steak that you can make at home for like a date night, like
Wait,
dinner.
you said a 32-ounce steak?
Yeah, T-bone. Not T-bone. I'm sorry, tomahawk.
Oh wow.
32 ounce.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. That
it sounds really good.
sounds perfect for a late night snack.
Yeah, ugh, dude, I would totally eat that right now. But yeah, so obviously try to plan ahead, trying to find stuff that's not, because it's so quickly ruined. Like we were saying, in the cooler, the food can go bad. Even those craft singles cheese, I feel like the eggs, everything gets a little bit dicey in those coolers because it's serves so many purposes. Like if you had one food cooler, maybe with dry ice and shit. But then if you're mixing it with your beers, you're constantly reaching in. If you have my gallons of water in there, as soon as you take the big gallon out, everything starts shifting, more water builds out. That's the one thing. That's another thing that I want to make sure kind of improving and like finding more efficient ways of doing it. I think would be nice. But yeah.
No, it helps to camp when it's cold out. That keeps the food cold.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be what, 40s, 50s, hopefully?
Well, we're close enough now that we might be able to get an early look at the weather. No, we're still a month. I don't know. I'm hoping last year it was 60, but the year before that it was
No,
20.
during the day, it got cold at night. It got to the 40s. I remember I had to sleep with I have one of those fleece like Columbia vest. And actually had to sleep with that on because I got cold.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'm hope. Well, you know what? I'm hoping. I like it cold because you can always put on another jacket.
right.
If it's too hot, you're just miserable. There's nothing you
Yeah.
can do.
No, for sure. It does suck.
So hopefully we get, hopefully it's right after a cold front comes through. There's no rain. There's no bugs.
Yeah, that'd be great. I think last year we didn't deal with too many mosquitoes last year.
Yeah, I don't think there was any.
There was, I think, maybe I got bit by ants. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, the ants are no joke out there, and they're always around where you want to sit because that's where people drop food.
Yeah, I mean, the average that time of year for the homes for the count of that area, 56 low, 77 high.
It should be colder than that because I think if you're looking up the Homestead area, you're too far south.
Yeah, that's what it's giving me. I don't know why, but
If you look up Immokalee, that'll be a more realistic location.
okay, I'll check it out. No big deal. But yeah, so I think that about wraps it up, right?
Yeah, I'm wrapped up.
Yeah. Also,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go eat. I'm gonna eat some food.
Yeah, me too. Fuck, it's 10:30. I don't even know what I'm gonna do. But microwave a couple spring rolls and call it a night.
Yeah.
That doesn't actually sound too bad. All right, buddy. Well, pleasure.
Yes, sir.
See you. Hopefully, I'll see you before we head out.
Okay. And to all of our listeners out there, we love you.
Rate, comment, subscribe, like, download, share. Any funny comments, if we ever get one, will get read. And if we ever do merch, we'll send free shit.
Yep.
All right, man.
No quality guarantee on the shit.
No. Straight from the worst.
Peace out, homeschools.
Deuces.
Bye.